welcome to Real Living. I'm Sarah Bernard and I'm super excited to be with you for the first episode of Real Living. In this show, we'll be bringing the nuts and bolts of real estate directly to you at home. There's so much to learn about buying and selling real estate, and we're going to lead you through the process by bringing you tips, tricks, and real life stories. Real estate is always a top topic, and it definitely is in my life. I'm a real life professional realtor and a TV host, and I'm excited to bring my interest and knowledge and experiences to you. And to make it even better, I'll be introducing you to some of my friends in the business and some real life buyers and sellers who will share their stories of the biggest purchase of their lives. Be sure to stick with us to the end of the show. We will bring you some of our favorite homes in the market today from all over the region. Stay tuned and stay with us for Real Living. I'm Sarah Bernard.
When fire and water threaten your home, hand the cleanup over to the team that stays with you every step of the way in your journey back. 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com, like it never even happened.
Welcome back to Real Living. I'm Sarah Bernard, and we're going to get to the nitty-gritty today of selling and buying homes. What are things that you can do to prepare for this whirlwind real estate market? But before we even get started, I want to introduce you to my co-host for today's episode, Andrea Lenzen. Andrea has been a realtor like me for many years, but she's made an interesting and a fun transition to focus on just one aspect of real estate, and that's preparing your house to sell. She owns a company called DeZign To Sell. Andrea, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you could be here today because you've got so much information for people at home who are thinking about maybe selling their home, and like, where do you even start? We always hear these things, curb appeal and all that. So tell us a little bit about you and how you got started in this.
Well, first of all, I'm thrilled to death to be here, so thank you so much. I got started probably about 15 years ago, but started my own company 5 years ago. And the main focus that we'd like to help the sellers to get their house ready to put on the market. So we want to appeal to the widest range of buyers that are out there. So the biggest thing we have to talk about is decluttering, because they always have way too much stuff, and depersonalizing it. A lot of times we'll go in and remove the drapes because we want to let lots of light in.
So let's stop right there, because you go into someone's home.
Yeah.
They love their drapes. They maybe have spent hundreds of dollars on them, and you walk in.
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and you say, okay, you got to take the drapes down. And,
exactly.
And so people don't like that. I mean, you get pushback, right? I would imagine.
All the time. But it's interesting because this one house that we finally took down the valance and the drapes, and she had this beautiful backyard with an outdoor fire pit. You couldn't see that because it was hidden by the drapes.
Yeah, so I think,
Opens up the house.
What happens is people, the way people live in their homes is not the way we want to maybe sell their home. I always use the analogy of selling clothes or selling a dress, a beautiful dress, and how you display it on the hanger. It's going to look different than how it looks on you, but it has to be perfect. It has to be hemmed up. It's got to be zipped up. It's got to just be pressed, right?
Exactly.
And it's kind of like when you go to sell your home, you got to get rid of all that stuff that we all have stuff around. I mean, actually, I'm just going to say right here, I brought you into my home.
Right.
I kind of know what I'm doing, but you came to my home and you went, I had like 5 pages of notes. You told me to get rid of my piano. I didn't do that.
That's okay.
Get rid of that. But it's tough,
It's very tough.
And people have like magnets on the refrigerator. And I mean, that's just the way we live, right?
Well, but as you said earlier, the way you live in your home and the way you list it are two different things. So, when a person walks into your home, you want them to feel like this is going to be their house. We don't walk in, it's going to be
buyer. You want the buyer to come in and it feels neutral.
Just drop down on the couch and say, I'm home.
Yeah.
But if all the personal stuff is up there, your diplomas, your pictures of your grandkids, which are wonderful, but the buyer can't relate.
And okay, so the diplomas, that's kind of funny because I actually have been with home buyers. They walk in and they're looking at the credentials. They're looking at where you graduated from, where the seller did, and do I know somebody? And in most markets, it's small towns, right? Even a big town can feel small because people know each other, and they start making these assumptions about people and about sellers, and that's why we don't want all of that personal stuff out, right?
Absolutely. Because I know one time it was really funny because this guy went into this house and he saw a certificate from this guy, and he did not like him. He knew who he was. He said, "I'm not buying his house."
Exactly.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, right. And maybe he would have eventually found out who the owner was, but still, it's that personal stuff.
Well,
and you think about everyone loves to go and display homes in new subdivisions, new construction, and these homes are perfect to like the hand towel in the kitchen is just so, and everything is perfect, and that's unfortunately what people expect, right?
They really do. And I always say to them, think about a display home. Do you see like boxes of Kleenexes sitting around? Do you see paper towels? You don't want to see toilet plungers or toilet brushes. So these are the kind of things I want people to feel like they're walking into a display home.
Yeah, because we don't want people to feel like there's any humanity going on
Exactly. They know they live there, but
But true. I mean, that's exactly how. So when you went from selling homes to now kind of going behind the scenes a little bit,
yes.
and is it fun? Do you have a great time with it?
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love what I do. I can't imagine doing anything else because it's so rewarding and satisfying to go in there, because really, Sarah, because you're in the business, it's very stressful when you're selling your house. There's a lot of things to do, and you're excellent at marketing and getting the job done. And we like to go in and just take care of the sellers, and usually they're getting a divorce, or maybe somebody's passed away or something.
Well, not always. Okay, let's not be negative.
No,
they might be moving to their next big home, and
it's hand-holding. It's stressful, no matter what the situation.
And that's
stressful.
the thing is, no matter what, no matter how prepared you are to sell your home, no matter how excited you are about that move, you can't take away the stress.
Okay.
And a lot of times people don't realize until they're into the thick of it. There's people coming through to look at their home, and they have to leave every 2 hours, and they've got to deal with their dogs and this and that. They don't realize how much work is involved.
Oh,
and
they have no idea.
but preparing it ahead of time takes away a ton of that work, because you can probably sell it a lot more quickly if it looks great.
So I tell them, really, the more you do, the less time it's going to be on the market.
Yeah.
Because don't sit around and go, oh, let's wait and see what the buyer says. That's a huge mistake, because as you know, Sarah, the first couple of weeks are the most critical time for showings.
Yeah.
So what got you into real estate?
Oh
Curious.
gosh, well, I came up through marketing, and I love marketing, and to me, selling a home and marketing a home it could be any product at all, and I love that aspect. I love the idea of taking a product and making it appeal to potential buyers of that product, and I love the real estate business. I love homes. I think I love the environment of homes, and I believe that no matter if you live in a big home, a small home, an apartment, a mansion, it doesn't matter. It's the environment that we live in that's so important to us, because we're there all the time, right?
Oh,
And some people live in their homes some people change homes like they change cars every 3 to 5 years. Some people, they can be in the perfect home and it can last their lifetime. And being a part of that and helping people to find that, I love that. I just love it. So
it's interesting when you said that. It's interesting when you work with somebody who's been in their home for like 40 years. And there's so many memories. The kids grew up in their house, and I mean, it's just such a special thing for them, and you just have to be very conscientious about that.
And it's hard to leave those memories.
Oh, absolutely.
And for kids, I have dreams sometimes of my childhood home. I know that home inside and out, the place that we grew up in,
Right.
And so homes are so important to us. They truly are. So going back to the difficult job you have of kind of going in and being the bad cop and telling people, and I know you do it in such a nice way. So what are some of the things that you see most often when you go into people's homes? What's the most common
too much
thing?
furniture, way too many accessories. And it's so funny because people will say, oh, but your house is beautiful. Well, it is, but they've got tons of accessories out there. And I said, you're not selling your accessories, you're selling the bones of the house. So let's depersonalize. They have way too much furniture. And I love this too, because usually if there's that recliner chair, and I'll always say to the gentleman, which one is your favorite chair? Which one do you like to sit in? Because I know I'm going to have an argument with him.
So keep the favorite chair.
Get rid of the Barker lounger,
exactly.
So I always make sure that,
so too much furniture, too big, So we're going to take a break now, Andrea, and we're going to have something super fun coming up. So we are off so far to a great start, learning about how to prepare your home to sell quickly and at the highest price possible. That's always the goal. But coming up, we've got some real life buyers to tell you what it's like to tour your home from their own real life experience. So stay tuned for more of Real Living coming up next.
When fire and water threaten your home, hand the cleanup over to the team that stays with you every step of the way in your journey back. 1-800-SERVPRO and SERVPRO.com, like it never even happened.
Welcome back to Real Living. I'm Sarah Bernard, and as I mentioned earlier in the show, in addition to being a television host, I work with buyers and sellers of real estate every day of the week as I lead a sales team of professionals who sell dozens of homes each year. This experience puts me in a unique position to get into people's homes often before you do. And along the way, I get to meet and work with other realtors, and one of my very favorites is this gentleman to my right, Bob Becherer, who comes to us via RE/MAX Results in St. Louis, Missouri. Bob, you had an interesting transition to real estate from a career in the retail industry, which I do love that analogy, as I use all the time about retail being similar to selling real estate. So tell us about that move.
It absolutely is, and I started off in retail in the stores, and then I became a human resources director.
Yeah, so
and
you've got that eye, right?
Well, you know, I do. I've got the eye, the attention to detail, and then assisting the buyers and the sellers is sometimes an emotional process.
That's
and
like your HR experience.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
So that really helps me work with the clients.
Yeah, because it's tricky sometimes, right? People, don't realize, and I think a lot of real estate agents don't realize how infrequently people buy and sell homes throughout their lifetime.
Sure,
and
sure.
we do it every single day. We know what it's like.
Exactly.
And we can, whip it out. We know the steps of the process, but for people that do it 2-3 times in their entire life, it's new every time. And it's never easy because there's a lot involved, right?
Absolutely. There's so many details that have to be addressed, and there's so many emotions involved with the process.
Yeah.
So I think our job is to help them navigate through it and make it as fun of an experience as possible.
Yeah, and then, I always think like the contract, the details, the price, all that kind of stuff we focus on. But the buyers and sellers are the ones at home packing. And
Right.
That's not fun.
It is not fun.
That's horrible, actually. That's the worst part of it.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, so what do you like? Do you like working with buyers or sellers the best?
You know what? I love working with buyers.
Yeah.
They're so excited about what they're doing, their next steps. It's fun to see them interacting with one another because they don't always agree. So it makes for some fun stories on.
Look at that, Mr. Psychologist, HR guy. Yeah, it's all about that, helping them come together in the process.
Sure.
Okay, so just for super fun today, we've got some buyers, and
perfect.
they're new to both you and me. Emily and Victor, welcome to the show. We're so glad you're here. Emily and Victor Gonzales. So we brought you here on the show because you guys actually are kind of in the middle, almost at the end of your first home buying experience. Right?
Yes,
Right.
exactly. Yeah,
So you're about to close, right?
Yeah.
Close November 23rd. We're pretty excited about it.
coming
Yeah,
up.
about
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
3 weeks to go.
Okay, good. So, over scale of 1 to 10, how's it been?
On an excitement level, a 10.
Definitely.
Stressful level, a 10. It's been a lot, but it's been fun. I mean, I'm that person that watches all those real estate shows, so it's really fun to go in, and see the houses and be in there ourselves. And
Yeah, HGTV
Yeah.
is not our best friend in the
I
real
know.
estate business.
It's not real at all.
Right.
But
So what Bob was saying then about sometimes the husband and wife don't always agree. What's your experience?
I think that's very true. At first, when we started looking, we wanted someplace in the city with a mildly smaller, large yard, and then we ended up settling, well, that's what she wanted, I'm sorry. What I wanted was someplace out in the country a little ways with a big plot of land, private space, and somehow I ended up getting what I wanted this time.
Bob, does that always happen?
It does not always happen. She would normally call the shots.
Yeah. So you heard that earlier part of the show, we were talking with Andrea about going into sellers' homes who may or may not have prepared it the way we would like to see it prepared. So what have been some of your crazy experiences?
Well, I know for me, I looked at one house with our agent. Emily actually stayed at home because she wasn't feeling well, so I was going to go in and I was going to do like a Skype call with her and walk through. Well, we get to the house and knock on the door, and the owner answered the door, and he's standing there just in his house clothes and a Bud Light. And so we came, he's like, we're going to be here, just come on in, show yourselves around. And the house was not staged at all. It was just dishes in the sink. His wife was in the basement baking, which smelled great.
Baking in the basement. Okay, that's a new one.
Yeah, so I guess she ran a small business out of her basement where she baked for random things.
So
but,
did your realtor let them know you were coming? I would
she
imagine.
did, yes. Yeah. She did. She had made an appointment and everything, but when we got there was no lockbox with the key, and so we were both a little confused. And that's when she just knocked on the door, and he's like, oh yeah, just walk around if you have any questions, we'll be here. So as we're going through the house, every time I turn around, he's standing in the doorway ready to give us information, which was helpful, but at the same time I felt like I couldn't be like picky or, say I like this or that about the house or didn't like this.
Yeah, and it must be hard to picture yourselves in that home when you know the guy with the Bud Light really lives there.
Yeah, right. It was very hard, yeah. And like beds were unmade, like nothing. It didn't look like any other house that we'd seen before. Most people, put a little effort into the house, and there was just none. I mean, like I said, dishes and beds unmade and just clothes piled up in corners.
So, Bob, as a realtor, how would you have handled that situation?
Well, I might have actually asked the owners if they wouldn't mind excusing themselves.
The bold realtor.
Thank you so much for your assistance. I'm sure that the buyers would love to tour the home and share their thoughts with one another.
Yeah.
And if y'all wouldn't mind waiting outside, that would be terrific.
I think it would have been helpful.
Yeah. So what, were there other homes that you guys went into that, talk about, was there a home that was beautifully prepared? Did you have that experience?
Yeah, so we put in several offers that we didn't get before we got our house.
That's a whole other episode.
But on one of the ones we put an offer on that we really liked, it was just the first one that we did. It was just absolutely beautiful. Like everything was, it's the same color. It was all black and grays, and it was just really beautiful. So I think that really helped us in liking that house and putting an offer on it. But yeah, we didn't get that one. So
the house that you did end up with, so you told us a little bit about why you liked it, but was there anything particular in the experience of walking into that home that felt different?
For me, it just felt like home when we walked in. I mean, you pull up and the house faces the drive, so the garage is detached, so you pull up and the house is facing the driveway. And when you turn, you look, it just kind of looks like a storybook home almost. It looks and felt like home. And then we walked in. Again, they actually had quite a bit of furniture. We had to look past that, but it looked
very
like
crowded.
Everything was nice. It was well taken care of, and we could really just see ourselves living there. I mean, it just really, I think that helps a lot.
It was pretty odd because the owners were also there while we looked at that house.
Really? So this is a trend.
Yeah. They didn't come in the house, but they were showing us the property because there's about 2 acres. So they were, the owner, she just loved her chickens, and she wanted to tell us all about the trees that she had planted. And it was very interesting.
Funny enough, we got the chickens with the house. So.
You're kidding. Oh my God.
A gift with purchase.
Oh my God, I love that. So write that in the contract. I want the refrigerator and the chickens. Have you ever done any chickens on a contract?
I have not done chickens on a contract, no.
That's a new one. I love it. That's great. How are the chickens? Oh, you haven't moved yet.
We haven't moved yet.
Well, let's hope that
hopefully they're okay when we get there.
They're egg producing. All right,
yeah, she said 3 of them laid. I guess they're kind of like pets to her. She named them. Their names are Sassy, Raspberry, and Butterbutt.
Okay. Yeah. Don't change the names.
No.
I can imagine that. Chickens are smart. All right. Very good, you guys. Thank you so much for being with us today, Bob. Thank you too for being here. Part of this is super fun. It's really fun. What I love about this show, Real Living, is hearing from actual buyers. This helps you to know what to expect when you go to buy a home, and also what to prepare for if you're planning to sell. There's more coming up. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Derek from Housemaster serving the St. Louis area. A thorough Housemaster inspection will provide you with a clear understanding of the condition of the major systems and accessible areas in your home. As part of the inspection, we will also help you plan for future home improvement needs and take the time to show you how to operate many of the systems inside of the home. More than 3 million people just like you have had the peace of mind knowing that Housemaster performed their inspection. We look forward to serving you.
to Real Living and Andrea. Okay, so what did you think about Victor and Emily's story about buying a house?
Well, I think it's amazing that they didn't make their beds, the sellers. They had dishes in the sink. I mean, what is going on
in my
here?
thinking there is that the seller really didn't want to sell. Maybe,
Obviously, sitting there with a beer and walking around, and I mean...
Yeah, they're just keeping through their normal day.
But so what they said they really liked was the one that was like perfect.
Yes.
But the one they bought did say they had a lot of furniture in there, but they could look beyond it, which was really good because 90% or 95% people cannot visualize.
Right.
So that's why the staging part is so important.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about, even you get people to come in your home, but before that, they're looking online, right? They're looking at all the photos.
Oh my gosh.
So you want your home to look great even before people walk in the door, or they may not even do that. So, but it's all about motivation, and we don't know what the circumstances were of the Bud Light guy.
Right.
If he maybe just didn't want to sell his
I'm
home.
sure he didn't.
Maybe he's being forced to sell, who knows, whatever, but whatever, he sounds like he was a nice guy though.
Yeah.
Give him credit, he's trying to sell that house.
Exactly. Could at least offer them a beer, whatever.
Exactly, and some cookies, right? So, but they got the chickens, I love that part. So.
I love the chicken part.
Okay, so we'll be right back in a minute with a glimpse at some favorite homes of the week, so don't go away. But before we take a quick break, I want to give a special thank you to my co-host, Andrea Lenzen, and our special guest, Realtor Bob Becherer, and our sweet home buyers, Emily and Victor Gonzales. So don't go away, we'll be right back.
When fire and water threaten your home, hand the cleanup over to the team that stays with you every step of the way in your journey back. 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com, like it never even happened.
Welcome back to Real Living. I'm Sarah Bernard, and this is my favorite part of the show. Let's look at some homes. These are my personal picks for some fantastic homes for sale right now in our market. Now keep in mind that homes right now are moving fast, so if you see something you like, you gotta move quickly. My first pick is a home in the Lindbergh School District at 8965 Crest Oak Lane. We're fortunate to have a lot of great school districts in our metro area, but remember that choosing a home in an award-winning district, whether you have kids or not, is a great way to assure lasting value. I love this home for so many reasons, starting with the circle driveway. I love a circle drive. It's a great curb appeal, great presence, actually really practical too to have a circle driveway. This house has great windows, really large windows out looking over the yard. It has French doors, which I love. It's open space, it's neutral, it's beautiful, and it's elegant. I love the simple but beautiful cabinets in this kitchen. Great use of space, it's cozy, but it has an open feel. I love the sunroom. I love that also that they painted the basement ceiling black instead of trying to cover it up. So this house is 3 bedrooms, it's 1,290 square feet, so it's a little on the smaller side, but it's got another 800 or so in the lower level, and it's got an approachable price at $340,000. And next, we're gonna move out west to O'Fallon, which is a hot place to live right now in our area. This house at 600 Bittersweet Drive is a little more pricey at $550,000, but it's also a lot newer, built in 2012, and it sits on a whopping 8 acres. And I'll say that acreage is more important than ever right now. During this pandemic, we've been experiencing both for privacy and space, and also just for an opportunity to enjoy the great outdoors. I love the angles on this house. Look at the front, that great curb appeal, and the park-like setting is really beautiful, overlooking that lake in the back. The house has stained woodwork, which some people prefer painted white these days, but I think personally that we're gonna go back to see a comeback to the natural and elegant look of real wood. Now shifting gears, let's head to the city to this adorable condo in the De Bolivar neighborhood near Forest Park in WashU at 5553 Waterman. This condo, it's a perfect student or first-time home buyer condo at $194,000 with 2 bedrooms and 2 baths, so it's easy to share. I love the space, I love the use of color, the location that is so walkable. You can just walk to Forest Park, walk to shops and restaurants. There's an in-unit laundry room, and there's also assigned parking, so you gotta love this central West End condo home. And finally, let's go big or go home. I've always dreamed of living in a luxury high-rise condo, so dream along with me while we take a virtual tour through this $2.7 million 15th floor unit in downtown Clayton. This condo is in the Maryland Walk building, which is known for high-end finishes, 24-hour concierge service, a rooftop party room, an amazing fitness center, a pool, a movie theater, and so much more. So you buy your home there, but you get a mini city to go along with it. And of course, being in Clayton, you're literal steps from restaurants and shops. This unit has beautiful views, floor-to-ceiling windows, not one but two terraces facing south and west, high-end luxury finishes, and let's just dream here. Thanks for joining us today at Real Living. I'm Sarah Bernard, and I can't wait to keep sharing more tips on real estate with you in our next episode. I'll see you then.